Okay, so what you're looking at right here might seem like just a simple, comforting bowl of Taiwanese savory congee. But let me tell you, it's so much more than just a quick breakfast. This bowl is absolutely filled to the brim with history. It's a whole culinary story that traveled across the sea and then evolved into something that's uniquely, unmistakably Taiwanese. And that brings us to this really important question. Is this actually congee, or is it more like soup rice? It sounds like a small distinction, right? But believe me, the answer to this question is the key to unlocking the entire story of this dish, where it came from and what makes it tick. Let's start with Section 1, a bowl of immigrant stories, because that's really what this is all about. At its core, this congee is a total culinary melting pot. You can think of its rice DNA, if you will, as something that was brought over by ancestors from mainland China. But once it got to Taiwan, it completely transformed. It's literally an immigrant story, all told in a single bowl. All right, Section 2, the unmushy ancestor. To truly get what Taiwanese congee is all about, we've got to go back in time and meet its ancestor. Our journey takes us to the Fujian region of China, where the original version of this dish came to be. And let me tell you, it was born from necessity, and it has this really stubborn personality.
So this ancestor is called Mei, and the whole idea behind it was super practical. See, in tougher times, you had to make a tiny amount of rice last, right? So you'd stretch it out with a ton of water or broth to feed more people. But here's the crucial part. The rice grains themselves were supposed to stay whole. They kept their shape, their character. They absolutely did not dissolve into a pile of mush.
This comparison right here just nails the difference. So on one side, you've got Cantonese congee. You probably know this one. It's cooked forever until it's super smooth, creamy, silky. The rice grains just completely give up and disappear. But Taiwanese congee, it's the polar opposite. It's way more like individual grains of rice just chilling in a really flavorful soup. The source material calls it a dish with a stubborn temper, and I love that. It's like the grains refuse to lose their identity.
So that brings us to Section 3, evolution on the island. How did this dish change once it landed in Taiwan? Well, when immigrants brought this food tradition with them, it didn't just hang on, it absolutely thrived. It became a huge part of everyday life for a couple of really important and really practical reasons.
It really played a dual role in people's lives. First off, it was the ultimate money-saving hack. I mean, think about it. You take a bit of dry rice, add liquid, and poof, you've magically expanded it enough to feed the entire family. But it wasn't just about saving money. It was also everyone's go-to stomach soother. You know, whenever someone was feeling sick or tired or just couldn't stomach a big meal, a warm bowl of this stuff was the perfect, gentle comfort food to get you back on your feet. Which leads us to Section 4, the Taiwanese Soul Kit. So okay, we've got this humble base, basically rice and soup. But how did it go from that to the amazingly flavorful dish we know and love today? Well, that's where the Taiwanese Soul Kit comes into play. These are the ingredients that give it its real, true identity. And here's the thing you have to understand. The soul is all in the toppings. Seriously. With Taiwanese congee, the rice is kind of just the stage. It's the toppings and the seasonings that are the real superstars. It's one of those classic cases where the supporting cast completely steals the show and makes the dish what it is.
So let's break down this essential Taiwanese 4-piece set. First up, the broth. The broth is everything. We're not talking plain water here. This is a rich, deep stock made from meat or fish bones. The source calls it the congee's advanced perfume. Then you've got the fried shallots. This is the true soul. It adds that amazing crispy texture and that deep, savory flavor that just screams Taiwan. Next, a sprinkle of chopped celery. This gives you a fresh, clean crunch that cuts right through all that richness. And to finish it all off, a dash of white pepper for that final kick that just wakes up your whole palate.
But that's just a foundation. The real fun comes from the spirit of mix and match. This is where you can get creative. You can throw in pretty much whatever you want. Some of the classics are things like fresh oysters, shrimp, or chunks of fish. Or maybe you're feeling more like pork floss, some crunchy fried dough sticks, or a big old spoonful of that amazing braised pork. I mean, seriously, the possibilities are endless.
So let's wrap this up. Section 5, conclusion, more than congee. I think it's pretty clear by now that we're talking about way more than just a simple bowl of congee. What we've seen is a whole journey. It starts with that simple Fujianese rice soup, gets elevated by a rich and uniquely Taiwanese broth, and then it's completely transformed by all those incredible toppings that give it its final character. You know, there's a quote from the source material that just sums it up perfectly. It calls this dish a commoner's delicacy with firm, character-filled rice grains and a sweet, story-rich broth. I mean, how great is that? It just beautifully captures everything we've been talking about.
So I'll leave you with this question. In your next bowl of congee, what story are you going to taste? The next time you sit down with a bowl, really look at it. Is it all creamy and smooth? Or can you see those individual grains kind of standing firm and proud in the broth? What are the flavors telling you? Because now you know, you're not just eating a meal, you might just be tasting a little piece of history.